And welcome back, folks. Hope everyone's doing well. So here we are. Final fight against 13,000 hit points of Cetan Shard. Mention swap. Create several copies of itself. Teleports the enemies to teleports enemies. So this may be a really, dynamic fight. So Cassia goes first. Then we've got 3 separate shards of them. So I'm not sure there's a way to kill the ads first here. So Cassia, come here. You're going to go first. And then I'm going to start stacking people, I think. Abelard, Ufar. Ufar, you're a tank. Put you here. No. There. Let me think about this. Where's Abelard? Abelard here. Genta here. I want to get people in defensive positions too. Malik here. Pascal here. This is Nomo, so I'm not sure what to do with him. Well, what am I going to do with Ufar? Where are the other envisions of him going to show up? I suspect over here and over here. We'll just have to see how this all plays out. So, Argenta. I want Argenta. I want you so that Cassia can see you, because I'm going to give you the second, give you a chance to go. All right, so let's try this strategy and see how it works. Start the battle. All right, Cassia.
If I may. Ha! I am a navigator, not a servitor.
Okay. Okay, let's hit him with a curse.
Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
It really didn't do a whole lot to him as far as hit points, did it? Okay, let's put the Nightmare on him.
Isn't this a job for the serfs?
I don't think the Nightmares... Well, it did. Nightmare took 3,000 hit points off of him. That worked really well. Alright, try to keep Argenta alive here. Not that anyone's going to be able to deal with all of this.
I am a navigator, not a servitor.
Alright, so... what's the willpower of this? There's a good chance he's going to get... I'm going to stun him. Oh, wait a minute, he may not... I don't think he can be stunned. No, he can be stunned. Mental damage increases, reduce and machine damage increase. Okay, so that's fine. That's fine. So, then with this, because there's a chance it will stun you.
Progress are unraveling.
Did not stun him.
Cannot damage a star.
Slowed. Not immobilized, but slowed. Next.
I'm not
Magenta.
accustomed to being ordered around.
This first.
High momentum.
Not sure how much damage it's going to do. That's 100% hit. It says it's only going to do like 2 damage to him. Not going to do much damage there either. That is going to do a lot of damage.
As the Emperor commands, I act.
Resonance grenade. Okay, what did that do? Let's try this.
Doubt is for the weak. My Emperor!
And not bad. Not bad damage. Not the best damage, but not bad.
In thy light I stand, and thy light I
So
crave.
that buffs everybody. Let's go ahead and hit him again.
Faith without deeds.
The threads of purpose are
As the Emperor commands is why I was chosen. I'll do it. As the Emperor commands.
a fleeting moment of
Faith without deeds. This is why I was chosen. Doubt is for the weak. As the Emperor commands, with you, my Emperor. I'll do it. For you, my Emperor.
cannot damage a star. High momentum.
As the Emperor commands, I act.
Okay, you've now got heroic actions. Done pretty good damage on him. I think next move is either. I think the next move is resist. No, we were going to do this heroic action, and we're putting it on Ulfar.
I'll paint your death in colors.
Okay, Ulfar. Can not charge him? Can't charge him. Why can I not charge him? Okay. Interesting. Can't be charged. Coming from the side.
The fame-hungry come.
Alright. One. Cool.
See how the wolf succeeds.
It's not going to do very much damage.
None can do.
I like the sapping shots. So that takes him down even further.
Wolves reign.
Do I hit him with bullets? I don't think he can bleed, but can he bleed? It's burning, slowed. Can he bleed? As long as any shard copy or the energy orb remains. The energy orb. Where the hell's the energy orb? Energy orb. Energy orb. Now. Let's see an energy orb. Missed something with the Alcazar there. Is there something on it? I probably should have checked that, but we'll worry about that later. I don't think this is going to work. We'll try kicking him. Oh, that's 28. I'll take that. There's an axe too. No, axe is not that good. I should probably... Guess a grenade doesn't do much. That doesn't do much. I think we're back to the pistol here, folks. Let's try wildfire.
So it shall be. Feel the icy bite of death.
Can't do anything else to him. I can move away, and I want to stay here. This is all I'm going to do. Let's reload the weapon. Okay, this turn is over. You can... taking any damage or anything? No. Getting back into the fight doesn't do much. So I guess it's going to be C-Tan's first move here. Here we go. Everybody all over the place. Eroding shard copy. Eroding shard copy. So, go back to what they said. Okay, they're staggered. That's staggered. Staggered for a round. Staggered for 1 round, so they don't get to do anything. But over here, he had... Oh wow, he got a lot back. He had a... what's the ability? Creates various copies, dimensional swap. Here it is. As long as any shard copy or energy orb remains each time it is attacked, it will stack a reconceptualization and trigger reflective retribution attacks. Okay, so what we need to do, I think, is kill these things. So Argenta. Come to here, you'll be able to see 2 of them. Here, Argenta. These will be easy to kill. Problem with this one is I want to make sure that I'm not blasting my own people. Pascal, you're not in the best of places. Get all 3 of them from here, so let's do this.
Faith without deeds is worthless.
It's a single shot on this thing. Not quite enough.
I'll do it.
I don't blow him up. Let's kill the one by Pascal first. When I hit... do that.
Doubt is for the weak. But you, my emperor!
What? He only got to fire... She only got to fire once? What's going on? I don't understand.
I'll do it.
Contradictions.
Faith without deeds is worthless.
Let's run and gun.
I'll do it. God Emperor, move through me. Be the fire in my heart. Doubt is for the weak.
Purpose unraveling.
Oh, my ears are ringing.
Okay, Abelard. Abelard, what are we gonna do?
Victory is imminent. It will be done.
quite enough.
At your beck and call.
Good.
I took care of this one.
Excellent.
Indeed.
Cannot get to this guy. So Ufar, you're going to have to hit him. Get to here. Do this. I'm going to try something.
A tactically sound approach.
Enemy mine. I can try kicking him, but I don't think it's worth it. Let's slam him.
Grey hair, sure hair.
A prominence cannot damage a star.
No matter the cost.
Come over here and kill this one, which is what I want to do. Can I kill him in one shot, though? That's just it. I don't know.
My place is at the fore. At your beck and call. I will do my target well.
Purpose unraveling.
Tried and tested tactics are the best ones. At your beck and call.
Echoes of time sing their last.
Follow my lead.
That's a big hit.
Victory is imminent. An exemplary strike.
Lines of integrity gone.
It will be done. Grey hair, sure hair.
What's he doing? What's going on now? Vulnerable to all packs. Alright, so then again.
At your beck and call. Target well struck. Grey hair, sure hair.
Hit him again.
It will be done. Target well struck.
Last attack.
Victory is imminent. Grey hair, sure hair.
Damage a star.
It will be done.
gonna stay right here. He's got a lot of toughness, a lot of armor, good dodge. Far. Here.
Our foes reek of cowardice. Wolves reign. None can do this better than a warrior of the All-Father.
Costs 3 AP. That's the same thing, it doesn't cost 3. We're going to go without the bleed this time.
Feel the icy bite of death!
What do we got here? An energy orb. I gotta kill this energy orb now. So that took him down quite a bit. Still burning. That heart disarmed him like crazy. Alright. What's this? Oh, the next turn this thing explodes. Can I destroy this orb? Don't know. Let's try. Can I kick it?
So it shall be.
Not enough to kill it. I'd have to be lucky to kill it there. Get all 3 of these guys back. No, I only got 2 of them back. Unless there's a 3rd one somewhere that I don't see. Shard copy, energy orb. This is going to take me 2 rounds. What does this do? It's just 1 attack, does 160. I'm going to do this.
Cubs play. challenge you, damn it!
Good luck. You're not going to hit him. Okay, that's gone. How many points? 363. So the question is, do I want to... Alright, we're going to run and gun.
So shall it be. See?
Engine turn. Well, he makes another energy door. Alright, Pascal. Couple things you can do. Well, there's a lot of things you can do. First of all, let's get our bounties cleared away.
override. Request approved.
Now, these things have reject the flesh. I don't think they did. This is how. Yeah, it's a trap. It does. All it does is it explodes.
activated. My vow is to serve. High momentum.
Alright, so what kind of damage can we do on this guy? Not that much. These guys we can pretty much destroy. So let's, got bounties on everybody, that's good. And I've got an extra move by somebody. Give them a heroic action. Might be Abelard. No, I've already given Abelard a heroic action. Let's see.
I will not be deterred.
Gotta knock these guys down. Let's get this one first.
Actions will speak louder than words. The Emperor commands. And so shall it be done. I will not be deterred.
I suffered the singularity of annihilation.
Actions will speak louder than words. I am but a vessel for the higher
Low
purpose.
momentum.
What, did I not get it? Did I not shoot at him? I don't understand. Right?
Rejoice in service. And so it shall be done.
All right. Put on him.
I will not be deterred.
natural prognosis is favorable. Fractured echoes beckon.
Good job.
See their last relent.
Step aside. The navigator is coming. Isn't this a job for the serfs?
Is he already cursed? He may have already been cursed. Okay, yeah, he's already got that.
Me? If you insist, Lord Captain. If I may. Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
This cannot damage a star.
Isn't this a job for the serfs?
A fleeting moment of integrity. Gone.
I am a navigator, not a servitor.
I forgot to use his last ability. Big mistake on my part. Big mistake.
At your beck and call. Indeed. Target well struck. At your beck and call.
To being ordered around.
All right, Argenta.
I'll do it. As the Emperor commands, I act. None can escape the Emperor's judgment. You, my Emperor, this is why I was chosen.
Must damage a star.
I'll do it. As the Emperor commands.
Threads of purpose are unraveling.
I'll do it.
Get to shoot again? Oh, a running gun, okay.
Rejoice in battle!
Okay,
As the Emperor commands, I act.
okay, Abelard, come here.
I've seen worse battles than this in my time. Victory is imminent. At your beck and call. Indeed. I've suffered worse.
Deadly.
I will do my duty.
Not very much.
Victory is a target well struck.
Cannot damage a star.
Will rule the stars themselves.
Smack him. Yeah, smack
It will be done. Ah, an exemplary strike.
She can't be charged. All right, let's see.
So shall it be. My hand is thunder. My strike is ruin. So it shall be. successful.
Kill it.
Running binary right.
Malik, you gotta shoot this. Just fine.
And so shall it be done.
Oh, I am out? My bad. Got to kill it. Got to kill it. I messed up. Messed up there. Twice I messed up. I used this.
Actions will speak louder than words.
Fenris shoulder! Die in disgrace! None can do it! Cubs play! Feel the icy bite of death! Wolves rage!
No.
See how the wolf succeeds! Heavy is the tread of his faithful. I venerate you, the heat spirit. The Omnissiah knows all, comprehends all.
The Emperor commands. I will not be deterred. And so shall it be done. Actions will speak louder than words. Let my fury rain down upon thee. And so it shall. You have been judged and found wanting.
Wow, didn't kill it.
Rejoice in service.
The room of centuries is faster than light.
Just a minor setback.
Moments of integrity gone.
If you insist, Lord Captain, another foe painted black. If I may. Isn't this a job for the serfs? I'm not accustomed to being ordered around. Me, if you insist, Lord Captain. Isn't this a job for the serfs?
And so shall it be done. Rejoice in service! The Emperor commands. Actions will speak louder than words.
Oh, I missed my attack again.
Rejoice in service.
Take the victim's place. I don't think I want to take the victim's place. Let's be... What is the victim? I want to kill this. First things first. Here.
Guided by faith.
No, here. Come one more.
Doubt is for the weak. Faith without deeds is worthless. Power resides in the will of the righteous. I'll do it. This is why I was chosen. As the Emperor commands, I act. I'll do it.
Blow this thing up. Way to go, Argento. Wow, that was a good fight. I did make a number of mistakes, though. Made a number of mistakes. The ancient monster struggles against the energy manacles of the yoke. Impossible powers that make reality itself burst at the seams are now being forced into a compact dungeon, quirk by quirk, returning it to a cruel and painful non-existence in the moment. It could struggle harder, but something is hindering it. You are the cause of these hindrances. Not only does C10 shard turn its focus to you, for the battle was nothing more than a reflexive resistance of an alien mind absorbed in a complex different ranges of thoughts and responses. But now, it is thinking about you, and its thoughts are so corporeal that you can sense them and know them. It seeks an end to the confrontation. It is capable of resolving it in a way that would benefit all. Really? More and more tears appear all over the shard's form. As the yoke absorbs its power, it becomes increasingly harder for the shard to maintain its physical structure. Each imperfection you inflict brings the star predator closer to imprisonment. Do not bow your head before our abominable precursor. It was begotten by the dark abyss of the past. It is a fragment of that which devoured stars and erased civilization. It knows no benefit other than its own. Allow us to stand against it. It is our time, our impossible chance. Well, Nomo, you have been true to me so far. Let's get rid of this thing. Theodora! As yet another layer of reality cracks, the figure appears before you. Her. After giving you a probing and appraising look, Theodora permits herself a smile. Almost deliver the fatal blow. Destroy the yoke and you. No, not that. I consign you oblivion without end, monster. I think this is the one I would do. I'd love to understand which one of these I could do. We'll try Nomos. If our birth ever had a purpose, then it's here and now. What do you call it? Because that is what it is, and what we are. We have been told before about Theodora's ambition, our events by the ship's cradle, the epitaph's secret. One sprouted into another and spurred yet another. Thus, Nomos was born. We were but an echo of the shard's power and an echo that left us prisoner, but we have become something much more with your help. What do you intend to do? Clash with the precursor, touch it, absorb it, so the reflection becomes the object of reflectance, so that the shard becomes Nomos. Then, and only then, will its threats be eradicated. You think you can do this, Nomos? We stand behind the threshold of possible probabilities and the outside bounds of predicament. It is beyond possible to know whether we can or cannot. But I believe we can, and that it will drive us to try. That is what drives us to try. And if we succeed, we'll obtain power beyond compare, and we will become a shield against any threat, whatever the form. I've made my decision. Act now. Act, my child. Do it. Wish us luck. Nomos stepped forward to the shard. The whole world explodes. A terrifying world. You can hear the colors, see the touches, burn the icy hands. Fire leaves you freezing. In the midst of this madness, you can clearly sense a battle raging. A clash between two beings, one endlessly ancient, the other endlessly young. Come on, Nomos. I hope I chose wisely. Power of Shitara is such that it redefines the very notion of power. But it has a weakness, and one that you can see only now. The Shard and its rival stand face to face. The Shard is just that, a shard. It is incomplete. It is not whole. It cannot be what the Cetan was before. What opposes the Shard is something entirely different, an undivided, sentient being with a clear purpose in mind, akin to a well-aimed arrow. And the one who fletched and loosed this arrow was you. Battle goes on and on and on, running the course of time, but you do not need the gift of clairvoyance to know who will emerge victorious. Come on, Nomo. Yep, there comes the... There it comes. Very cool. You raised your own abomination. They stranded a new form, and their name was Nomos. Possessing the power of an ancient being nurtured by the rogue trader, the young star god watched over the Chronosmax, their new domain, with curiosity. Gathering its bleeding worlds together, the rogue trader dared to build something more noble and civilized than the Expanse, and haven for those drifting and unprotected in the strict hierarchy of the Imperium. It would be an unholy frontier. It would be an unbound frontier where freedom and compassion were not wholly extinct. Well, there you go. The shackled... Oh, I like this. The shackled monster under Von Valancia's control ensured the survival of the fledgling utopia. The Star God destroyed all who threatened its peaceful civilians and installed fear with those with little faith. The Expanse tasted the sweet fruits of freedom and the tolerance of a reverent fear. The Empyrean could not forgive such insolent deviation from its order prescribed by the Holy Terra. The Von Valancia dynasty was accused of seditious formation of their own empire. An invasion fleet gathered at the Calyx section, and the lifespan of the young utopia was as short as its creators. Protecting the young kingdom of freedom, Nomos created the dimensional barrier that cut the Chronos Expanse off from the Imperium more sadly than the Great Rift. The humanity of the Expanse was left in isolation, relying only on themselves. They either had to build something new and different from the Imperium, or fall to the horrors lurking in the darkness. The ideals of the Malik von Valancia was committed where aliens to the were alien to the Imperium, but close to the hearts and many in the Expanse. Anyone who could not resolve a dispute or who was denied justice rushed to the palace of the rogue trader in search of mercy. Rumors and stories of the humanitarian rule formed the foundation of the Valencian school of philosophy. The sect united commoners and aristocrats in the belief that for the Imperium to flourish, it should stop seeing its subjects as mere tools. This dangerous heresy was denounced in many systems, but for persecution only hardened and multiplied its followers. Having learned a bitter lesson on footfall, Insena Cordata let go her fanatical zeal. Relinquishing the reign of power, she secluded herself in a cloistered world. This time of purges had passed, and with it, the time of law and order. The power in the vacuum that followed, the dark legacy of the abominations has reared its ugly head, and its insidious domain gradually dissolved into a nest of criminals and pirates. The era of Caligos' cruelty and wrath came to an end. Only then did the many terrified witnesses to his vile crimes step forward to recount them. Memories of the good, prosperous years for the Protectorate under the wise rule of Caligos Wilderscale, eclipsed by the legacy of the innumerable and bloody crimes. Evan Wayne Winterscale went under his Magus Ascensio and became his dynasty's new rogue trader. Many said that the noble Evan lacked the firmness of judgment, yet he had more than enough trust, even in those who were unworthy of it. The young rogue trader did not forget those who saved him from the Recus system or the favors the House Valencia had bestowed upon the Winterscales. The cult of Saint Drusus continued its indefatigable struggle to spread the faith around the Expanse and expose the vile transgressions of the authorities. The stronger and wealthier a planet was, the less its rulers wanted to see the black-clad creatures. Riots and assassinations pushed the cult to places where it felt the most confident, the frontier. After the death of the Reverend Harmonius Demonis, the man called Chaplain took over the leadership of the Drusan mission. He hid his name, but his crimes or his piratical past. With resolve and experience of Voidfarer, he steered the cult and even led his fellow believers on military expeditions against brigands, enforcing order and converting depraved captives to the faith. In the following years, the Constantine fleet slowly and deliberately left the explored systems of the Expanse for the furthest remote regions. Observation stations claimed the worlds were abandoned, and even Euphrates II became a derelict. Statistical divination warned that the fleet's conclave of grim events awaited the Expanse, and they decided to deliver their fellows from this coming storm. Yet, they did not share the truth with the lay people. It's like very good artwork. The schism of discontinuing the cycle engulfed the entire Conga fleet. Soon the Civil War was over. Disregarding the commandments of their forefathers, the explorers started down a dangerous path of new comprehensions, creations, and revelations in procedures and algorithms. The fleet was united once more. In its unity, it was ready to stare down any horrors standing in the way of the catechism of maintenance and operations. Magos, Dominus Opticon 22, one of the first to hail the return of the Messiah, took the helm of the Mother Squadron of the Conga fleet. Unquestionably embracing the teachings of the discontinuing cycle, he personally saw the crushing of any renegades who did not accept the Messiah's word of truth, and earned himself the identifier Chrome Scourge. The crisis of the Expanse dealt a serious blow to the business interests of the Fellowship of the Void. Having no powerful allies, they retreated into the darkness of the frontier systems. The hard life they faced forged them into a new tribe, furious, wild, and willing to do anything for survival. They swore to return and retake what had once been theirs. For many years, old Rizza presided over the captains of the Fellowship, and at the end of her life, she once again took the helm of the ship and led an unprecedented attack on the Mother Squadron of the Conga fleet, during which the attackers managed to seize a dozen transport ships loaded with the On-Messiah's sacred grips. Violence throughout the Expanse put many on their guard, and as a result, the Caspal mission business declined. Soon, rumors surfaced among the cold traders about the so-called Commission that would have made it through the Maw and into the Expanse. Its proposed purpose was to audit assets and take measures to reconstruct operate. These words carry with them an ominous threat. Let them go. The League of the Football survived 14 assassination attempts. It thawed no less than 2,000 schemers before a shot finally took its life. The esteemed League held in great secrecy with only a closest entourage were permitted to view his corpse, which was spawned some particular rumors. A multitude of agreements bound the Imperial Navy to the Von Valencia dynasty. Captains were eager to patrol the Protectorate, knowing they would be richly rewarded. Competing ships were lost to pirate attacks and subject to harsh inspections. Many officers quietly entered the dynasty's service, receiving a salary and a title in exchange for their excellent skills. Worthy admirals valued their new friends and enjoyed more gold on their uniform. Artus Admiral Captain Artus Thorfast founded the Thorfast and Companions Merchant Company, excelling in trade and acquiring a substantial escort fleet. After 3 decades, he traveled to the Maw to return to the Imperium in hopes of obtaining the Fae Board of Trade. It is not known how this venture ended. When the rogue traders' force became apparent, the Imperial Navy fulfilled its duty and fought the Von Valencia dynasty. The Battle of Dragonis ended with a resounding defeat, and the surviving ships fled the distant systems. Disheartened but not broken, the captain vowed to rebuild their forces and plan raids into the apostate territory. The crucial reason for the defeat was the unorthodox high percentage of captains who betrayed their oaths and defected to the rogue trader's side. Overnight, he acquired a battle-ready fleet of his own. Gargonis grew and prospered until it became the capital of the Cronus Expanse. The planet was like a giant magnet whose pull held together the worlds of the Expanse, absorbing the treasures and vices of the sector. Humanity was exploring the Expanse, and Dargonis became the capital of the brave starfarers and pioneers. It was from here that the expeditions departed into the uncharted wilderness, and here they returned bearing wondrous trophies. Captains, cartographers, scribes flocked here to exchange news. Hivagama washed off its stains of its former defilement, but not the dark memory of it. The sacred halls were never silent, and production rates became the supreme law. The glory of the Imperium was forged into blood and sweat in its toilers, and the millstones of the manufacturing ground the workers down by the thousands. Even in death, the souls of servants dared not step away from the machines. Hivagama grew, and new manufacturings were founded, until disturbing reports started to trickle in many years later. It seemed that someone had secretly taken control of the colony, shrouding it in a tangle of conspiracy. Neither inquiries nor threats to the tech priests or executions helped. Someone in the shadows was weaving their web and making secret plans. Mysterious xeno-anomalies plagued Janus for many years. The ghosts of the Inhume had controlled the planet and continued to haunt them. The serfs suffered from strange maladies. The agriculturists were inexplicably struck by blight and famine. The servants of the rogue trader feared the ghastly planet and sought to be transferred off the filthy Argonid colony at the first opportunity. Despite grim expectations, the coexistence of humans and the Aldari did not lead to enmity. Janus had faced many trials. Struggles against them brought these two peoples together. They did not develop an affection for each other, but they learned to speak with no weapons in their hands. More than one dangerous xenophile schism was born on Janus. The minds of Vivos 6 grew deeper and deeper. Soon the planet became the darkest and most frightening colony in expanse. Its final stop for the exiled and the damned. The brutal, hard inhabitants of Death World feared neither humans nor xenohorrors, no mercy, and they were known as the most fearsome fighters in the sector, who had traded their lives for the right to lead the eternal darkness of their minds. Guarded, luxurious palaces were built under the climate domes, shrouded by the clouds of poison. They housed so many powerful blackguard, protectorate Triscuits, and wealthy scoundrels that Vivos 6 gained an unimaginably political influence. Such grand and sinister deeds were done there that before long the grim Death World was spoken of as a new political center of the expanse. No longer secluded for long, Foulstone turned into a spiritual center for this expanse. Clad in gold and power, rulers went there to be anointed for greatness, criminals for penance, and the righteous for encouragement, and there was no end to them in sight. The Order of the Hammer grew in power, prominence, thanks to the rogue trader's vengeance. So widespread was the reverence of the Cognitus that he supplemented Deucin as the warrior on the pedals, and as soon as the most honored saint in the expanse. The Deucin cult did not forgive this, and feuds broke out between the clergies, but the warlike servants of the Hammer were not afraid of bloodshed. With the fall of the unholy patron, the edge of daybreak, the cult of the Final Dawn perished as well. Every cell of the cult was hunted down and eliminated. Rumors that some worshipped the ruined powers had managed to get away, hiding in the writings of their warped, banished lords under their robes, were baseless. Left without a mission or a new leader, the word bearers retreated to the depths of the Immaterium. Their last act of vengeance was a bloody assault on Footfall. The populace of several asteroids were exterminated or enslaved, and the statue of the Emperor God was badly damaged. After recovering from Cordo's reign, the Footfall reclaimed its status as a trading hub in the Expanse. Having learned better lessons, Vladimir Togota created the Footfall's purchased a well-equipped mercenary army that answers only to him. A modicum of order returned to the station. The changes to the Von Valencia dynasty brought the Footfall endured on the station long after. Poorhouses opened by the order of the rogue traders saved many hungry and homeless from death. Unfortunately, his distribution to the station's death is ecosystem. No longer freezing to death in the empty compartments or tormenting by those who lived in poverty and Footfall began to choke the station, leading a sharp rise in crime, organized organ traders, and illegal something. I didn't. Left without a sun, Rika systems ceased to exist. Now frigid planets spun away in the darkness, no longer held by gravitational pull of stars. A century later, a fragment of Rika's miner entered the Furbus system, and it was snared by void miners. A piece of the rock was delivered to Footfall with reverence and used in the restoration of the god Emperor's statue and a final memorial to the world devoured by corruption. Rumors of the rotting remains of an Aldari craft world spread around the expanse. Explorers, privateers, everyone hungry for easy money all rushed to the frontier systems to vie for the piece of price. Some were swallowed by the warp. Others perished in the skirmishes with their rivals. Most skilled and fortunate returned empty-handed after decades of searching. The colossal ship, as big as an imperial world, simply vanished, as if it had never existed. But the legends of the forbidden treasure lived on and continued to bring staring souls to the ruin. Half a century later, the expanse trembled to the echoes of Aldari war songs. Myriad war bands appeared out of nowhere, leaving trails of bodies in their wake before disappearing into the webway gates, masterfully hidden from the eye of the monkeys. Children of Surian had come to avenge the death of the craft world Kudarach. Their woeful retribution lasted many decades until both races were wore out and out of blood to spill. Janus was one of the worlds hit by the savage retribution of Zeus before the great slaughter could make the planet's irrigation canals run red with blood. Farseer emerged from the forest to address the Avengers. Having his kins to stay their hands, he and his people departed Janus. Spirit of the Monolith. Purified by the Harkon troop on the Clone World, was hidden from the insatiable eyes of the Unkeys by raging warp storms. Ships started going missing more frequently, and the system closed to the planets. Even more dangerous, Grace gave the regions a wide berth, and it was named the Damned Reefs. Somewhere on the other side of reality lay Kurma, woven from manifold other dimension and illumination is always the light of stolen stars. Its streets were filled with screams and agony. Any misfortune experienced by the dark city became another scar on its appalling face, lost among thousands and other vile blemishes. As long as the pain pulsed in its blood-soaked spires, the insatiable and unshakable Kurma continued its flight through the webway, along with its unchanging ruler, the leader of the Cabal of the Black Heart, the most dangerous of all Takari. After the rogue trader visit, the dimensional rift opened around the spire of the Reaving Temple, flooding the streets with demons. He was terrified. The Cabal of the Black Heart managed to stop it, but some Archons saw the event as a sign of their leader's weakness. Others interpreted it as a grim omen for the entire city. The fall of the Cabal of the Reaving Tempest united the Kurma to a brief and bloody moment. The elites of the Dark City set their squabble aside, found a new game in tearing apart the domain of Archon Numerus. The fate of the Reaving Tempest reminded that other Cabals are not to last forever in the Dark City, save the city itself. Leaving the Necron system behind, the Star God vengefully obliterated every tomb world of the ancient Xeno race. The old hatred of Citan, betrayed by their deathless servants, whispered inside him. The voice of Voxmaster of the Tolan dynasty was long resounded in the expanse, bringing hope and triumph, trumpeting the arrival of the merciful Rogue Trader. Known for her wisdom and acute understanding of ship system, over her long life she taught many generations the future Voxmasters of the Tolan dynasty. Her body was built into a bridge itself, and at times of need her voice flows through the Vox, dispelling illusions and despair. After years of dedicated service, Master Helmsman Rever was granted, despite his objections, the privilege of rest. The live servant of the Omnissiah implanted and augmented into his brain restored his ability to sleep. Soon afterwards, something unprecedented happened aboard the ship. The Master overslept and missed the start of his watch, but his temper did not become much more agreeable for that long. Many years later, high-functioning Jairus Ducknall sought permission to retire. He said that age had softened his heart and that a more worthy, young, assertive successor should take his position. There was no shortage of candidates. Under all that fat, Drakon had a sentimental heart. He spared nothing for the orphans of those who had died serving the Rogue Trader. The children were given an excellent education and were eager to serve the Von Valencia dynasty. Drakasa Sauerback served his master's army for years, but eventually her zeal faded. It appeared that, having tried every form of violence that existed, she no longer derived out of any of them the joy that she once held. She humbly submitted her resignation, went back home on the capital. She took up a position, warden of one of the capital world hives, and reconciled with her cousin, but only for a short while. Reconciling was, at any rate, easy to overlook during the gathering of the world capital nobility, or just waste no time, waste no opportunity to have a few vicious row. After many years, Zachary Weiss mustered the courage to take personal apprentices again, searched throughout the expanse for astropaths whose masters were harsh, cruel, and recruited them into the choir. He gathered a caste of talented men and women to his side, their guardian and mentor. He died defending his ward from the cursed words spewed by the Immaterium. Feeling the sounds of those words in his mind, he preferred a horrible death to repetition of shameless mistakes of the past. Urban Driveston cared more about preserving the influence of his main line than the well-being of the protected. Blind addition lost him his governor's seat and the respect of his family. Within a few generations, one of the largest house turns turned to an obscure family of petty aristocrats. Dora Gradsbag missed the moment when her family, which had previously functioned like a well-oiled machine, started to fall apart. Racked by infighting among her distant relatives, many blamed Tora in the Kibagama disaster. Soon the Gappak family split into warring factions and spent centuries locked in violent struggles, only occasionally punctuated by futile attempts to reunite the house. Makana Sorek was loyal to the Rogue Trader to the last, despite all rumors to the contrary. Finding little affection among his subject or family, he stayed true to himself, forthright, severe, pious person. Strived to ensure every soul in his charge felt justifiable dread before both him and the God Emperor. Members of House Westrian served the dynasty faithfully and loyally, amassing more and more power. A century later, they finally gained the respect enjoyed by other noble houses, yet power and luxury can dull any blade. Now pampered and idle, aristocrats were scarcely recognizable as the descendants of the once formidable Seneschal. Clementa Westrian, granddaughter of Abelard and Chancellor Jonas, executed duties irreproachably and even found time to school the younger generations of her family. She was an equally skilled mentor, chancellor, and political operative. After a century of immaculate service, she surprised everyone by leaving her position and becoming the first mate on a trade ship. She would later admit, like a true Westrian, that she had always had a passion for ships and voidfaring. Branches of House Westrian became intertwined for a time after marriage of Mysteria and Vincent. The great sadness of the couple and the great amusement despite Jerusalem, their marriage produced no children. Just like their ancestors, Westrian dedicated their lives to service, crushed by the events that shook the stability of his house and his inability to provide a heir. Vincent lived in his wife's shadow. When his time came, he passed away without any notice. A harlot known as Nocturne of the Oblivion visited the Expanse once again. Speaking into Dargonus, he came on the Rogue Trader's Palace, left him a special gift, a case of Aldari crafting. Unmistakably ancient, precious, adorned with the runes of an eye inside a triangle. Only the Lord Captain knew what it contained. The harlot candidly warned him that he was drawing on the Von Balancing dynasty into a deadly dance of shaking doom, that all will freeze within the threads of the terror's loom. Then he promptly departed, and without a reason, a few hours later, the assassins from the Dark City appeared, following his trail. They were mercilessly killed. Their armor bore the signs of the Cabal of the Blackheart. Yeah, don't mess with this guy. After searching, Dargonus wardens found the remains of Professor at the lowest levels of the hive. The Kari artifacts and records discovered beside him indicate that the agent of the Inquisition had been compromised and was working for the Xenos. When the emerged cult of the Fatal Thirst punished everyone who had helped the rogue trader, the traitor, known as the Commissioner, strived against all odds, making despicable deals and buying his own life for the lives of others. He found new benefactors. Many more subjects of the God Emperor who had the misfortune of finding themselves in the Dark City became victims of his vile manipulation. Savage deeds of Gorky Sektor witnessed in the football traumatization traumatized him forever. His architectural genius was shattered. Only the rare occasion of a true connoisseur held his works, written in shaking hand. Footfall, the ultimate void station, and mortality. Secrets of the Gene Sealer cult. Infestation of the Chronos Expanse was laid bare. A wave of purges rolled across the worlds, with enraged rabble and planetary guards massacring thousands of those who appeared diverged from true human form. Most of them were, of course, ordinary abject genetic misfits and luckless rejects, but their lives were small price for the sector's purity. A handful of prisoners, all that remains of the conventional Remnant Star, were left on a minor planet with few supplies. Survivors included only children, old men, women whose appearance had the fewest distortions. Not one of the true monsters had been spared, or so it seemed. The genetic aberrations had all but faded into the blood of the sires, only to reveal itself again in their offspring. Soon, purple chitin-covered children were born under the greedy light of alien stars, and went on to carry the true of the many-armed Emperor on the tip of their sting-like tongues. Abelard Westrian renamed the Lord Captain Seneschal in the right hand until his dying breath. House Westrian cleared the such immunity to get itself to Dargonus' feet. When years later Abelard left the world, the worthy successor of his family received the honor of inheriting the highest office of Seneschal. His shining memory was blighted only by rumors of a creeping madness in the twilight of his life. Many said that the Seneschal talked to someone unseen in a voice filled with unusual tenderness and sorrow. After the victory of Epitaph, Argenta left the rogue trader, and Incredible Flame burned brighter and brighter in her soul, hungry for vengeance. And so the sister embarked on her own personal crusade. First she hunted and exterminated the remainders of the final doll. Then she pursued those who had abetted them. And then anyone in whom she saw a hint of heresy. Even when she directed her wrath against entire cities, no power could stop Argenta. Clad in sacred armor, she left a trail of fire and blood across the expanse, a trail that ended at Salus Prime. No one knows why the sister returned for the third time to the planet where she found her relic. but after ascending to its surface, she mysteriously vanished. Rumor said that Argena was lured there under false pretenses by former allies. It may have been even Malik von Valencia himself, unwilling to kill her off or tolerate her raging desire to cleanse the expanse of heresy. No one knows the truth, but many gave a sigh of relief after her disappearance. Jade Hidari, based in the Road Trader's life for many years, trying to make the most of the illustrious patronage. Alas, after that was 2 decades of brazenly attempted the coup with a failure, found herself on the executioner's block. Before the end, she bestowed one of her famous smiles on the throng and rattled a farewell. Mr. Kabbalah performed a great reading of the Emperor's Turret, and the card of the Knight showed her cult a new path and new teaching. Raised generations of proud female warriors and led the Scarlet and Black Army out of the shadows to descend upon multiple worlds, hounded by the faithless in the name of the Undying Emperor. Rivers of spilt, unclean blood trenched the soul worlds where the blood-spun seeds had been spouted. Planetary rulers outlawed and hunted down the death cultists, to the point where they're starting full-blown wars. But the armies were hopelessly outmatched by a host led by the Vizier's will and her powerful foresight, guided by the Emperor's Turret. Pius Ebus and his loyal duty servants of the Rogue Trader became the venomous faith of the Undying Emperor. He was merely to join the blood-sun web. A decade and a half later, he, having risen to the rank of the web's force spinner, he died honorably during an assignment, and his soul passed to the Undying One. The Vizier composed an anemic and profound prayer in his memory. Henrik van Calix, the former interrogator of Otto, took the mantle of the Lord Inquisitor after his mentor's death. He received both the Inquisitor's rosette and a duty to defend the sector from the enemies of humanity. He became the new Warden of the Kronos Expanse. Okay. Van Calix declared the relentless war against the enemies of humanity, be the Xenos, servants of chaos, or heretics of the Imperium's own ranks. Inquisitor fearlessly eliminated numerous nests of corruption. A few decades later, he was assassinated by a criminal cartel. Some say the Kabbalah mission, sick of the unrelenting servants of law, was involved in the Inquisitor's killing. Although the Bloodswan Web provided the Inquisition with many deadly agents, the contradiction between the Undying Emperor's will and the will of the Lord Inquisitor slowly grew as years went by. Eventually, the Death Cult splintered apart. Rivers of blood spent. A number of the Undying One's servants renounced their viziers and followed a new cult. Bound by absolute loyalty to the Inquisition, they were named Shadows of the Throne. Contrary to the expectation, was not angered by the schism. Instead, she saw new teachings as another thread of service to the Undying Emperor. Until the end of his days, Lord Inquisitor Van Callis wondered just how much sincerity there was in the hearts of the renegades who had agreed to serve under his command. In her journeys with the Rogue Trader, Cassia Ocilio experienced all of the hardships and delights of the depths. The invaluable experience and new knowledge helped her to finally conquer her fears and accept herself and her powers. The Lady Navigator became Novella of the House, tasked with addressing the consequences of Turstbone's rule and the chaos that followed her disappearance. For the duration of her reign, she patiently worked on uniting the feuding branches of the House, forging alliance, and expanding the influence of House Ocilio. The Star Way Atlas, which contained the memories of Tusman's clan, lost its power. House Ocilio once again only rely on skill alone and in the depth of the inventory. Many lost their lives, but those who survived crisis became hardened veterans and pillars of the House. Most of this misfortune souls were young and brave. Too few among them were old. Announcing the discontinuing of the cycle, Armat Collective instilled terror in the hearts of those who revered the theories of purity, but gave hope to others. After gathering its souls, recruiting servo soldiers from vassal planets, it ventured into the worlds of the Screaming Vortex and the infernal forges of the Dark Mechanicus. The march of reintroduction was meant to seize the stolen secrets of the Omnicide from the hands of heretics, temper the cults in the fire battle, and transform it into the tools for both eradication and comprehension. The fleet disappeared in darkness, and only rare echoes of its astronautness were intercepted. The unit, Abelhaman, continued his service in the Abelet Corrective. In unity with 5 companion minds, he rediscovered the joys of direct cognitive communication unmarred by imperos. While outwardly silent, he joyfully described the images, concept, ideas, Omnisside's revealed to him. Fulfilling his function, he overflowed with exultant efficiency. After joining the Stormbiters, Ufar Thunderlung soon became the pack lead. and taking the place of Thorod, who met an honorable end. The new leader sent a message to Fenris stating his intention to remain in the Expanse. There were too many enemies lurking in these hunting grounds and to serve the Allfather's wrath. Legends paved formidable Pack's path in gold. Years later, Ulfar found a battle in which he could meet his honorable death, but the warp was suddenly torn asunder. Ships from the Fenris bearing the marks of the wolf head came to his aid. Saved from the battlefield by his lowly companion, Hallarad, Ulfar accepted the honors of the dreadnought, and was entombed in sacred armor. During the blessed rituals, he cursed and demanded to be left to his death, but the brothers merely answered with mirthful laughter. When he was recovered to his senses, Ulfar led his forces to the Heathen Star. The Allfather had given him new mission with near-death vision. No one in the Expanse has heard word of the Space Wolves since their departure, yet many believe that one day they will return victorious. He becomes a dreadnought. Oh, that's cool. It is rumored the true cause of Theobald's Ironhide's demise was treachery. Faced with superior enemy, the Space Wolves called on their allies for help, but a nearby squadron withdrew. They'll finally broadcast that blood debt to the Archmage's armament is not forgotten. Okay. Such was the echo of deeds of the rogue trader House Valence, deeds that transferred Kronos' expense and prepared it for the events of a darker, more violent. But those are the events of a different story. This one has come to an end. Denis, I thought that was just a terrific game. Perfect game. I know I've gone way too long. I'm not going to let all the credits roll. But I would like to say something for those of you that are still watching, because I know this is very long. But I thought this was a terrific game. A few things I'd do different. I'd like to replay it again, but I'd play it on a much harder difficulty. I thought the difficulty, the base difficulty, is pretty easy to get through. A lot of mistakes I made, a lot of things I missed. I think there is a lot of replayability, but again, the base story is still there. But just a really well thought out game, very true to 40K, and I thought it was very well done. So, thank you very much for watching. If you haven't tried this game, give it a try. And thank you so much for all of your comments and all the likes that I've seen. It has really been a journey. So, everyone, have a terrific day.